It's a hot afternoon, and 5 men are sitting in the shade of some eucalyptus trees at a new gathering space in City Heights. They're playing Ladoo, a board game that's popular in East Africa. 1 year ago, the nonprofit City Heights Community Development Corporation installed benches and tables here at 50th and University. Since then, it's become a popular gathering space for the neighborhood's Somali community.
When you see people here, there's a lot more dignity brought to the community.
Anastasia Brewster spearheaded this project, which was approved under the city's new placemaking ordinance. She says when the community first approached the city with its idea, there wasn't any formal process tailored to small and simple projects like this one.
It would have had to go through a typical development permit, which would have been upwards of $20,000 to install picnic benches on city-owned right-of-way. And that was completely out of our budget and also just, frankly, not fair and inaccessible.
The permit under the new placemaking program cost only $1,500, and City Heights CDC got reimbursed under a city grant program. Brewster says the city does celebrate these kinds of projects and recognizes their value. But she adds the process could still be simpler. Her team had to hire a consultant to help with paperwork, and they decided not to include art in the project to avoid an extra bureaucratic hurdle.
The way that the current code is written, it doesn't allow for art to be installed in a placemaking project without a secondary permit through our Commission for Arts and Culture. And that is just another hurdle to just very simple community-driven work, which I think that with a creative solution we could change that.
Elizabeth Studebaker oversees placemaking in the city's Economic Development Department. In the year and a half since the ordinance was okayed, 3 placemaking projects have been approved. Another 4 are in progress. Studebaker says the city will be studying the ordinance's effectiveness, but that the application process is the way it is for a reason.
Most of that review process is ensuring that the applicants have a plan. And they can tell us what their plan is, and they can tell us what materials they're using, and they can tell us what the design is going to be before we do the ministerial issuance of a permit. And so that's all that review is. It's like, okay, we understand you want to do something, give us the detail.
We're talking about giving the communities enough tools so they can create and enhance their own community.
Barry Pollard is executive director of the nonprofit Urban Collaborative Project. 4 years ago, his group attempted a placemaking project at the blighted intersection of Euclid and Imperial in Lincoln Park, installing benches and planter boxes. But city officials ordered them removed, saying he hadn't secured the proper permits.
When you get to the engineers, it's no, you can't do this. Nope, can't do this. You need this for a permit. You can't. And as I left every time, I felt defeated.
The ordeal kick-started the creation of the city's placemaking ordinance. Pollard ended up turning his efforts to a vacant lot 1 block away. It's now a community gathering space, which Pollard says has empowered the Lincoln Park community.
This has been a traumatized community. So things like this is what makes them feel better about themselves and gets the families involved in it.
With only 3 permits issued so far, Pollard says he'd like to see the city do more outreach to encourage placemaking. And he wants city officials to see the successful projects in person so they can more deeply understand their value.
That puts you to the game to play.
Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.